Dave, this will be our third one that we've done of these together.
As indeed, Ian, yes.
One before lockdown, which was face-to-face, two on Zoom. Thanks for joining me. Now, I wanted to get into a video that I did yesterday following a bit of conversation, talking about first-time buyers and 10% deposits, 90% loan-to-values. How are you finding that situation at the moment? Because the rumours are that it's quite difficult to get that product for buyers at the moment.
Wow, you've hit a hot topic there. That really is, that really is what everything's about right now. So the lenders are very, very cautious when it comes to lending at 90% loan-to-value, so with the 10% deposits there. Different trains of thought regarding that. The majority is that they are just very overwhelmed with the backlog of valuations that have still got to be caught up on from when lockdown was in full force. They're not able to now open the floodgates to let those higher loan-to-values through, which all will need a physical valuation until they've caught up on that backlog. So they're very cautious about sort of letting that volume of business happen at the moment. There's a few lenders out there that are doing it. They dip their toe in and out. So products are released, they get too busy, they get withdrawn. So it's an ever-changing market at that loan-to-value at the moment. It really is.
Do you feel the reason why they are pulling these products then is purely down to they can't service the volume? Is that because that's good news for the property market? If there's a high volume of people wanting mortgages, it's great news for you as a mortgage advisor and me as an estate agent and a homeowner. But is it a case of that, or are they concerned on the financials? Do they want to lend?
They definitely want to lend. I think that it is really volume driven. Since lockdown was eased a couple of weeks ago, I can only speak for ourselves, but we have seen a huge influx of inquiries. A lot of first time buyers, a lot of 90% mortgages needed out there. And like I say, there's very few lenders that are actually offering that. So the few that are very quickly get overwhelmed. As an example, HSBC have been fairly consistent. They've offered 90% all throughout, but they have an allocation of, we don't know how many, but an allocation of 90% deals per day. Once they've filled that quota, they stop offering 90% mortgages that day, reinstate them the following day. Now, normally we would still be able to secure rates at, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon without too much problem.
Yeah.
But since, I'd say last Thursday, I've been trying to get clients a particular 90% interest rate, logging onto their system at 7 o'clock in the morning when that day's quota is released. They've all gone by about 7:45. Their typical traffic on the website at that time of day is about 500 users. That's gone up to about 35,000 users trying to get those 90% products because they're one of the very few banks that are offering them. So everybody's going their way. Now, fair play to HSBC. They're still trying, whereas other banks have backed out completely. But it's a volume thing. They just can't cope at the moment.
So. I mean, they are amazing statistics. And if you still go on to, BBC or Sky News, or you look at a newspaper, typically you see quite negative forecasting from the media. But that level of information is just not out there. And I think that is a good sign for the market. Even today, I was in Sandhurst on an appointment this morning, and they still feel that the market could fall off a cliff over the next 6 months. But that is clear evidence that can't happen based around those kind of statistics, really.
No, absolutely. I think it's a first-time buyers market out there, and you probably know better than me, but everybody's talking about small reductions in property prices, things like that, which when you're a first-time buyer with nothing to sell, that perks your ears up. That thinks, well, now's a good time. Interest rates are still at an all-time low. If you think they're going to be able to grab a bargain on a property, everybody wants to go ahead, get that decision in principle and start looking. Yeah. So that probably is one of the biggest areas we've seen increases in, certainly since the end of lockdown.
I honestly think if you've got a property which is sub 350 with a garden, then it's at a premium, because first-time buyers want that kind of 350 kind of bracket is typically where they sit, but they want that garden. They've been kind of 12 weeks in lockdown, and they are the premium properties at the moment. If you've got one of those properties, then we would love to talk to you. The other option is the help to buy scenario as well. So people that are maybe now they want to get on the ladder, they want to get out of home, they want to stop paying rent, they want to be in a position where they can get on the ladder. What about help to buy products? What's that kind of looking like at the moment?
Well, that's another really good option because that overcomes what we've just been speaking about regarding the higher loan to values. So you get the extra 20% from the government, you put your own 5% in, if you can, then all of a sudden you've got 25% deposit. So you've got choice of pretty much all the lenders out there. They're still all offering Help to Buy products, the majority of them, at very, very good interest rates. So, hey, in my opinion, Help to Buy has got a very good place in the first-time buy market, and I think it's an opportunity for people to get some houses that they couldn't afford otherwise.
I think also, you mentioned first-time buyers, but a lot of the clients that we're talking to they've got, maybe they've got 2 kids in a 3-bed terrace, for example. They've outgrown that, especially over lockdown. They've outgrown that property. So I don't even know whether first-time buyers is the main sort of target audience. It might be people that want to stretch from the 3-bed terrace to the 4-bed detached, but this is a way of doing that. They can sell their property at 375, and they could buy something at maybe 525, for example, on a new estate, obviously, but it gives them the playroom, or it gives them the garage space, or it just gives them that extra bedroom upstairs, or home office. A lot of people are looking at the home office options. Yeah. It might be a way of kind of doing that. So it's another type of client that'd be good to talk to.
It is, and there is a lot of people using it for that upsizing. Unfortunately, the Help to Buy scheme isn't going to be available to second-time buyers. And I need to get my dates right, but I think it's going to be the start of next year, maybe March time next year. They're pulling that. So it's going to be predominantly first-time buyers, but those second-time buyers have still got an opportunity in the next half of this year to utilise that. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's 20% a loan. It is a loan, but it's interest-free for the first 5 years. Yeah. So if you have a repayment plan, if you can think, well, after 5 years I can pay that back, you're actually getting loaned the money. It's going to cost you nothing for 5 years.
It's like a parent's loan, isn't it? You go to your parents, can I borrow X for X period of time? You don't expect to pay interest on it. So it's an opportunity. And as you mentioned, rightly so, the clock's ticking on that. So it'd be good to talk to people about that kind of sooner rather than later. A landlord last night as well asked me a question. Is it a good time to look at buy-to-lets at the moment, or do you anticipate rates going up, going down on mortgage products? What's the volume like for kind of buy-to-let landlords at the moment?
Yeah, very good. Now that they've reintroduced the 75% loan to values, once again, the surveys are getting done, so those rental assessments can be calculated again. That was what was holding everything back. Those problems have stopped now. So most of the lenders, in fact, all of the ones I know of, have reinstated their buy-to-let products. Some going up to as much as 80% loan to value now. I think Clydesdale announced last week or early this week that they've got 80% loan to value products, which is unusual. Normally they cap out at 75.
Yeah.
That said, to be able to get that full 80% mortgage, you need the rent to be strong enough to support that. The loan size is geared, sort of gauged on the rent the property will receive. So although on paper they can accept a 20% deposit, having that big 80% mortgage is reliant on a good rental income for the property. But they're out there. Rates are low. I think they're only going to go one way, to be honest, which is up. Whether that's going to happen imminently, I'd be surprised to see too much movement this year, but certainly start of next year, I would expect things to start increasing again. So now is a good time for investors, definitely.
And they might find as well that there might be some good sales out there. They might get to the bottom of a chain where you've got a developer at the top that maybe is really kind of cautious of what's going on, and there's some money to be worked. So having those buy-to-let investors out there to kind of sneak in at the bottom of the chain, it could be a good time to make some instant equity on that as well, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And just briefly changing topic there's a lot of talk at the moment about the limited company buy-to-lets, which is a whole different conversation for us to have, but that's becoming much more appealing to a lot of people.
Okay, well, maybe we'll do another conversation about kind of landlords and limited businesses and kind of almost inheritance tax vehicles and different pension sort of planning options for kind of retirement funds and stuff like that. We could have that chat as well at another time. Anything else that's worth kind of mentioning that's going on in the mortgage market? I mean, we've covered quite a lot there quite quickly, to be fair.
Really, those are the hot topics at the moment. The 90% is what's causing us not problems, but it's frustrating that it's not consistent. So one day we have options and the next day they may be withdrawn. So it's causing the broker a bit of a problem in the fact that they can't give 100% accuracy to say, yes, that's there, and then the next day it's different. But no, I think we've covered some very good points there, to be honest.
I think the main thing for people is it's about communicating, isn't it? So, you know, if there's clients out there at the moment or people that are looking to upsize, first-time buyers looking to get on the ladder, if you're kind of not getting this information from your broker or your agent, then talk to us. You know, we're happy to kind of help and advise people locally, even if we're not kind of working with them directly. That's the purpose of this video. So, you know, from your point of view, obviously they can get, you know, AFP Wokingham on Facebook, on the website. I'll put the contact details in this video as well for you. You've got a big team there, so you can deal with the volume, which is great. And from our point of view, obviously we're happy to talk and help and advise people with any processes, even if it's a phone call, a Zoom chat, or a face-to-face valuation. So, yeah.
No, absolutely, completely agree. It's so diverse at the moment. It's ever changing, the mortgage market. So now more than ever, people need to speak to a broker. I mean, genuinely, so many people are loyal to their banks, but unfortunately, I don't think that's going to help them out anymore. You need the knowledge from a broker to be able to get you exactly what's right at that time you're looking to move. So, yeah, very important. And like you've just said, we've adopted new technologies. So Zoom, all those type of things, completely on board. We can certainly still keep business as normal as possible.
It's easy to get information and communication out there. Dave, appreciate your time again. We'll do round 4 soon. And
look forward to it. Thank you.
Enjoy your busy mornings trying to get on the HSBC website. I'll catch you soon.
Oh, yeah, can't wait. Thank you very much.
See you later.
Cheers.